always grows, where every possibility goes, not past nor future, lost nor found, just this profound and solid ground. A breath, a pause, a silent theme, life's in between, a canvas for a different dream. Morning coffee on my tongue, from beans that have not yet been sprung. The bitterness of what's not known, the sweetness that might yet be shown. The steam that rises from the cup fills all the moments, looking up to futures not yet realized. Behind hope's delicate disguise, the taste of tomorrow waits. Behind life's many hidden gates, of flavor not of now or then, but of what might be once again. Some sips are sharp with coming fear, some sweet with dreams that feel so near. This beverage of might be ours contains such unexpected powers. The taste of tomorrow waits, behind life's many hidden gates, a flavor not of now or then, but of what might be once again. The cup grows cold, the flavor stays through all the coming days. This taste of time's mysterious ways. The morning sun abandons chairs, leaves patterns on the empty stairs, then moves along without a thought of all the warmth it once had brought. It climbs the walls, then leaves them dark, not making any special mark on surfaces it used to love. It always has somewhere to move. How life forgets where it has been, as new positions it must win. What once was bright now fades to gray, as light continues on its way. The windowsill remembers when the light would dance and play therein. Now shadows stretch across the floor, where light has been but is no more. fades to gray as light continues on its way. The room remembers what light won't keep as shadows start to creep and memories of light grow deep. Draw the maps of what I need with careful thought and special heed to borders of what might be true and landscapes painted fresh and new. The mountains of my high desires, the forest full of inner fires, the rivers flow into some place where dreams and reality embrace. The cartography of longing grows as every coming morning shows new territories to explore beyond what came the day before. I chart the stars of what I feel, making these internal visions real. With compass of the heart's true north, I map what truly has worth. The cartography of longing grows as every coming morning shows new territories to explore beyond what came the day before. This map I make and then revise beneath hope's ever-changing skies, a geography of a soul that makes the broken fragments whole. That certain corner by the stair still holds you standing there. The sunlight through the window pane remembers joy and remembers pain. The kitchen table's wooden top preserves the conversation's crop. The marks and scratches tell the tales of all our hopes and all our fails. Where yesterday resides in rooms among the artifacts and blooms, the past persists in subtle ways through all our present days. truly gone, just waiting for the dawn. My lips form shapes that make no sound. Your name travels the lost and found of memories, persistent hall, answering some silent call. The syllables dance in empty air, filling spaces everywhere, but never reaching where they should, though I'd speak them if I could. Calling your name in the silence, across the emotional distance. Words that my heart still repeats in these melancholy beats. Perhaps someday the sound will reach what it's been trying to teach. The names have power to convey what we're unable to say. Calling your name in the silence, across the emotional distance. Words that my heart still repeats in these melancholy beats. The echo fades but doesn't die beneath the vast and starry sky. Your name remains within my chest, putting this feeling to rest. The melody inside my mind has always been the complicated kind, too fragile for the open air, too honest and too rare. It has a bridge I can't quite play, and chords that somehow go astray. The lyrics hover near my heart, but never quite make start. The song I never sang aloud makes me both humble and yet proud. within the heart and not to play for audiences to ever hear, but just for us to hold so dear. The song I never sang aloud makes me both humble and yet proud, that feelings can be so profound in their unexpressed, unwritten sound. This silent symphony remains running through my mental veins, a masterpiece that none will know except the one who let it grow. The final period on the page turns another life stage into history and recollection, in person and respection. The words that close this current book have such a definitive look, yet somehow also seem to start a new tale in the heart. The final chapter's last sentence brings a curious resonance of something finished and begun under the same moon and sun. We think conclusions mean the end, but on this point I can't depend, for every finished story makes new pathways and new lakes. The final chapter's last sentence brings a curious resonance of something finished and begun under the same moon and sun. The book may close the cover shut, but in the soul the doors stay cut, open to what comes to be for all eternity. No sunrise since has quite compared to how the morning sunlight fared on that specific destined day, in its extraordinary way. The angle of the solar rays has never since in all my days managed to reproduce that gold that my memory still holds. That particular daylight stays illuminating all my days with its persistent glowing sheen on everything I've seen. Perhaps it wasn't just the sun, but everything combined as one that made the atmosphere so bright and filled with such intense light. That particular daylight stays, illuminating all my days with its persistent glowing sheen on everything I've seen. Now every morning I compare the new light to that light so rare, and find the present can't compete with that illumination sweet. In cups where sunlight rarely falls, the ocean keeps within its walls the fragments of 1,000 ships and stories from forgotten lips. What the tides forgot to take for their own eternal sake remains in these secluded places with sea-worn ancient faces. Sea glass smoothed by years of wave, the memories the ocean saved, shells that hold the ocean sound on this hallowed sandy ground. What the tides forgot to take for their own eternal sake remains in these secluded places with sea-worn ancient faces. The sea decides what it will keep in waters dark and dreams so deep. No notes are played, no voices heard, just being without any word. The mountains and the valleys deep, their sacred silent vigil keep. The symphony of stillness plays in these unmeasured deep-filled days, each element in its right place with unhurried, perfect grace. The trees stand tall in harmony with all that is and meant to be. The stars music never had to start. It lives in nature's beating heart. Somewhere there's a silent room where unfinished melodies assume their final forms in velvet air, beyond the realm of human care. The notes that never found their voice, the songs that never were a choice, for composers who moved on before their morning light had dawned, where melodies go to rest, having never passed the test of being played for waiting years. Across the intervening years, they hover in that in-between, the realized and unseen, a symphony of might-have-beens behind reality's thick screens, where melodies go to rest, having never passed the test of being played for waiting years. Across the intervening years, they wait for some celestial hand to help them understand why they were born but never heard, according to some strange absurd. I'm counting days since you departed, a calculation broken hearted. Each sunrise adds another number to this emotional lumber. The minutes multiply the feeling, the strange and painful inner dealing with subtraction of your presence and this ongoing essence. The arithmetic of absence grows as every coming day still shows that numbers cannot quantify this feeling that will never die. I try to calculate the distance with mathematical persistence, but equations can't contain this particular type of pain. The arithmetic of absence grows as every coming day still shows that numbers cannot quantify this feeling that will never die. The sum of all these days apart is written on my waking heart, a mathematics of the soul that numbers cannot make feel whole. assume their doom, unplaying notes in velvet air, beyond the realm of human care. The songs that never found their voice, the music that was not a choice, for composers who moved on before their inspiration dawned. Where forgotten melodies sleep in promises they couldn't keep, of being heard by waiting ears across the intervening years. They hover in that in-between, the realized and unseen, a symphony of might have beens behind reality's thick screens. Where forgotten melodies sleep in promises they couldn't keep, of being heard by waiting ears across the intervening years. They wait for some celestial hand to help them understand why they were born but never born into the world of night and morn. The evening sun cuts through the blind, creating shapes of every kind. Upon the wall they start to sway in their mysterious ballet. They stretch and curl and intertwine, creating some mysterious design. They represent what stays concealed until the special lights reveal where shadows dance alone at last, revealing what in light has passed. The hidden self begins to speak in movements tender, strong and meek. In daylight we wear our disguise, but shadows show what truth implies. They don't pretend or compromise, just dance before the daylight dies, where shadows dance alone at last, revealing what in light has passed. The hidden self begins to speak in movements tender, strong and meek. The light will change, the dance will end, but shadows find a way to return another day. Meant for one and all, in golden strokes and amber hue, it writes what's felt instead of true. The shadows stretch then disappear as morning makes its purpose clear. Secret phrase in these first hours of new days. The language of morning light speaks to souls throughout the night, telling stories without sound. Every surface it has found, it touches objects left behind, revealing what we keep in mind. The ordinary things we own become with light profoundly known. Souls throughout the night, telling stories without sound. On every surface it has found. The message fades as sun climbs higher, leaving its celestial receptive space. Morning light has left its trace. what's the stem of what was blooming in them? But the seed remains to grow when moon again puts on its show. It was just empty space and time that moved at different pace. The world continued on its way while I was stuck in yesterday. Then slowly I began to see what goodbye truly means to me. Not just an ending or a close, but how the human spirit it grows. Understanding goodbye takes time, like learning some mysterious rhyme, whose meaning shifts and changes form in life's unpredictable storm. It teaches what we need to know about what we should let go. We carry forward still according to our personal will. Understanding goodbye takes time, like learning some mysterious rhyme, whose meaning shifts and changes form in life's unpredictable storm. Now I see it's not the end, but just a necessary bend in road that continues on from each finished dawn. The afternoon light through the glass holds moments that have come to pass. Each sunbeam is a golden thread to what was done and what was said. It falls on surfaces and floors and opens up invisible doors to days that seemed they'd never end, and messages we'd always send, where sunlight carries memories on its bright and golden seas, illuminating what we've known and how we've individually grown. The angle changes with the hours. where we once paused before life suddenly caused the interruption of our reading, the temporary needed seeding of narrative to daily living while taking and while giving. The bookmark left in pages deep, promises that we will keep, returning to the story's thread with all the words left unsaid. It represents what we put down to deal with life in all its renown, but also signifies our intent to continue where we went. The bookmark left in pages deep, promises that we will keep, returning to the story's thread with all the words left unsaid. Someday we'll take that marker out and learn what the book's about, continuing the tale we paused for all the living that it cost. Building rooms inside my mind for all the things I've left behind, with hallways leading to what was and windows showing what does. The ceiling's high with aspiration, the floors of strong foundation. Each corner holds a different thought with meaning carefully wrought. The architecture of solitude creates a special attitude of spaces meant for being alone, where seeds of self are sown. The blueprints change with passing days in unexpected, subtle ways, adding new wings and taking down walls that made me frown. The architecture of solitude creates a special attitude of spaces meant for being alone, where seeds of self are sown. This structure grows and will remain through sunshine and through falling rain. A mansion built from inside out, where there's no room for doubt. Constellations rearrange their patterns in their starry range, while we exist in different places with different thoughts and different faces. Yet when I see the evenings first, I'm conscious of a similar thirst for understanding what occurs beyond life's strange and spinning spurs. Beneath a different sky tonight, the same moon shares its silver light on both our separate situations. because of how connected we remain, despite the distance and the pain. Beneath a different sky tonight, the same moon shares its silver light on both our separate situations and similar contemplations. The sky may vary where we are, but we're beneath the same particular cosmic and celestial dome that we can both call home. The window pane as darkness falls, a mysterious transformation calls. It turns from looking out to in as night's deep hours begin. The glass becomes a silver sheet, where inner and outer worlds meet, showing both the room and sky as stars begin to multiply. How windows hold the night inside with nothing left for them to hide. They show us what we can't quite see and who we've come to be. In their reflection we perceive what we receive and what we leave. The window knows both dark and light and how they interact at night. How windows hold the night inside with nothing left for them to hide. They show us what we can't quite see and who we've come to be. When morning comes they'll change again.